Hi guys, and happy Monday. Before we get started, I have a couple of announcements for you guys. First, this will be the last Braid School class of the year. That's right, we're going on Christmas break like everybody else. Class will resume again January 13th at our usual bat time, bat place, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I hope everyone has a safe and blessed holiday with their friends and family. I know I'm going to use my time to get some beauty sleep. Which leads me to announcement number 2. Our Vandy fam has grown by leaps and bounds this past year, and I am so grateful to have each and every one of you join us each week. I love your participation, and your comments definitely keep me motivated. So to show my appreciation, I am hosting a holiday giveaway. One lucky winner will win a $50 Visa gift card, which you can use anywhere you wish. And the rules are super simple. All you have to do is like this video by hitting that thumbs up button. And then 2, leave a comment below and let us all know what you are most thankful for in this past year, 2019. You do have to be subscribed to the channel to qualify, so don't forget to hit that red button along with the notification bell so you are notified when the winner is announced 1 week from today. That's right, next Monday, December 30th. All right, so now that we have those announcements out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with this video. Today we're going to cover feed-in cornrows, French braids, Dutch braids, whatever you want to call them. This is what they resemble, girl. The feed-ins have become super popular over the last couple of years because you can get the natural braided look with hair added for volume and length. This process requires a couple of things. First being knowledge of how to do a basic cornrow, which we will cover in just a bit. 2, your grip game needs to be on point, so this is definitely not recommended for those who have carpal tunnel or arthritis. And 3, you need to prep your setup before you even get started with the first braid. This is definitely a skill that requires a lot of practice to perfect. So if you don't have a live model handy at, in many cases, I highly suggest picking up a practice head so that you can practice during your downtime. This is my girl Sheila. Y'all all know her, seen her, love her. We go way back, and I can always count on her. So if you want to pick up a practice head just like this one, I will make sure to leave a link in the description box below, along with links to all of the other products and tools that I used in this video. So in addition to Sheila, you're going to need a couple more things. This is a rat tail comb. This is perfect for parting and making sure that you get crisp, clean lines. Some hair clips to keep the hair clipped out of the way. You're going to need some scissors handy for trimming. And of course, you're going to need your extension hair. You guys know I'm going to use a bright colored hair so that you can clearly see what I'm doing. In most cases, you're going to need some kind of product to slick the hair down to keep it molded. So my product of choice, of course, is Shine and Jam. Lastly, you're going to need a place to put individual pieces of hair, multiple pieces. So I highly recommend picking up a thread spool rack. It doesn't have to be this exact one, but something like this is going to help you stay organized and more efficient in the process. So for my beginners out there who don't know how to do a basic cornrow or struggle with hand placement for this, I'm going to quickly show you how that works. I first sectioned off the piece of hair that I want sectioned off, and I'm going to start at the very top of that section as if I'm going to start off 3-strand braid. Then what I'm going to do is every time I make a rotation, I'm going to grab a very small piece of hair to add to the rotation. This is where practicing your grip game comes in handy, because you want to have enough tension that the braid doesn't loosen, but not too much tension that you're pulling on your client's scalp and ripping out her hair. We don't need that. But yeah, if you rewind this back a couple of times or slow it down, You can see that every time I rotate, I'm grabbing a very small piece of hair where it is necessary. You also want to make sure you're not grabbing huge big chunks of it. So if you grab like a huge big chunk of it, you'll notice that once you get past the braid, it's going to look uneven, and then that's when you have to kind of start over. So it's a tedious process, but if you take your time, grab small pieces, the product is going to be exactly what you anticipated. You kind of have to really understand your hand placements because you can't always see exactly what you're doing behind your hands. And you also need to determine what your strong hand is when you're working on grip. So for me, and you can see in the video, my left hand is my dominant hand. So I use that to grip as I move down the braid, and my right hand is my free hand. So now that we understand how a basic cornrow works, we're going to move into the actual feed-in process. Before we even get started, we got to get into the prep first. So one of my top 5 questions of all time is, how much hair do you use when you're doing a feed-in? And the easiest way to answer that question is you don't know how much until you get that client in the chair, figure out what style they want, and assess the density of their hair. A lot of times you don't even know how much you need until you only have one hand free to grab that piece of hair. So I like to do a 3-tiered structure. I know it's going to be a buildup. So on the bottom row, I'm using a slightly, about, I want to say 1/8 of an inch thick pieces. The second row, I'm going down a little bit in size, and in the last row, the top row, I'm using maybe 5 to 10 strands of hair per piece. So that way, when I'm doing this whole process, I can easily grab the size that I need when I get to that specific rotation. So I'm going to prep my section with my jam here. I'm going to slick everything down because not only is this going to create a better finish, but it's going to help my hands with sliding down the braid. And I'm going to repeat the same steps I did in a basic cornrow by starting off with 3 strands at the top. And I usually will add in a piece at the very top, but I'm going to go ahead and do a couple rotations before I start adding in some pieces here. So here goes my first piece. I'm going to grab one side of it with my pinky on my dominant hand, my left hand. And then I'm going to take the other side of it and hook it underneath that second strand into my pincher finger. So between my thumb and my index finger. And I'm just going to connect it to that strand and keep the rotation going. Once I rotate, I'm going to pull that hooked strand down to the pinch fingers. So basically, I just did a knotless feed-in, but on a cornrow. I'm basically just adding it to the hair on the scalp as opposed to freehanding it. So if you guys didn't check out the knotless tutorial, I'll link it in the cards above. Once you understand that concept of adding underneath the second and third strand, you'll understand the concept of doing a feed-in cornrow. It's pretty much the same thing. Also, as we talked about earlier, you got to know what your dominant hand is. So my right hand is my free hand, so all of my materials, my stand is to my right hand side. If you are a lefty, which a lot of people don't know that their dominant hand is on their left or their free hand is on their left, you need to have all of your free items to your left hand side. Trust me, that makes the process a whole lot easier. Especially if you're not, keen on your client holding the hair for you. That's just not my thing. I prefer my clients to not have to worry about doing anything. It's my job to do the work. So yeah, that's how I do it. But anyways, back to the tutorial. I'm just continuing the process as I go down, kind of keeping an eye on the density of the braid as it's going down as well. If you add too big of a piece, you'll see the variation in the sizing and it'll look like a lump in the middle of the braid, and then you kind of have to start over. And it's also super important to make sure your grip is on point. I know I've said this many times, but if your grip isn't on point, those loose pieces of hair are going to loosen as you go down, and they're going to start looking lumpy and bumpy as well. So again, it'd be super helpful to get you a practice head so that you can practice this over and over again until you build up your confidence. I can practically do this with my eyes closed at this point, which I think would be a fun challenge. Leave a comment below if you think that would be a fun challenge. I'd be willing to post that video. But anyways, so here's a close-up on what I'm doing. Again, maintaining that grip as I go down. And then just continuing everything until I get to the density that I'm going for. And that's it. That is pretty much how it works. Feel free to rewind this as many times as you need to. I know a video like this would have been super helpful to me when I was learning how to do this. I kind of had to like figure it out on my own. But yeah, at the end of the day, I can only teach you so much in a video. And even if you were in my presence, it's still about what works for you and you understanding what your hand placements are. So yeah, that's it. That's our completed braid there. It's so pretty. I absolutely love adding blonde. So yeah, that concludes today's video, you guys. As always, if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that like button. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any of that stuff, make sure you leave that in the comment section below. Remember, this video is a giveaway video, so make sure you go right back to the beginning to see the rules. I will catch you guys at the end of our Christmas break on January 13th. I will still be posting some content on here, but nothing braid school related. So still make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and stopping by. I hope you guys have a great and fantastic holiday with your friends and family. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.